Hello, friends. Welcome to my channel. I am Ananda Rose, and it's good to be talking with all of you today. I apologize for yesterday. There was no video yesterday. I have to tell you, I spent like maybe 3 hours on the video, and I went back to listen to it, and there was some background noises that I didn't know that had come into it. So I've got to find. It was a very special video yesterday. I was launching something new and it was really special, well, special to me, obviously, and I was going to share it with all of you. And what's happened is, well, background noises prevent me from doing that. And I discovered that last night, like at about, I think, 10 p.m. So hence there was no video last night or yesterday. We'll get better at this thing that I have an idea for, or the project I'm working on is such a, I think it's so good. But yeah, we're learning, right? Just learning and going through the motions. And I also think, we're in a Mercury retrograde, and I'm going to blame it on that. It's okay because I feel like I have to go back and check my software. Perhaps I need to use another software or maybe get another microphone because a microphone that seals out all the or cancels out all the noises in the background. I mean, I thought this one does. And also with this one, I mean, it's not really such a problem because Zoom is meant to, but I wasn't using Zoom to record. I was using another system, and that system obviously doesn't can do the noise cancellation. Anyway, so apologies for that. So today I thought, well, before I carry on with what's going to happen today, let me say this to you. I hope all of you are well. I hope that you're navigating well, and I hope even when days feel volatile and the energies are intense, that you're managing to be balanced, that you're taking the time to ground and you're taking the time to look after yourself. I say that a lot, I know, and I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record, but I feel it's important to emphasize that. It's important to acknowledge that life is no longer as we knew it once, okay, and that it's changing and that we're all going through transition. So, what is today's message about? It's really today I was guided. I did a meditation this morning that was put out by somebody called RJ Spina or Spina, Spina is how you spell his name, the surname. I think that's the surname. He's come into my space recently and he's really been driving the message of how we must not be afraid and we must be aware of the fear mongering that's going on in terms of or he calls it fear porn, the fear mongering that's going on in the he calls it spiritual media or something like that. And anyway, I haven't listened to any of that, what he's saying, because I listen to people like Tim Wilde and Diana Cooper. And I'll tell you what is the best part about listening to people like Tim Wilde and Diana Cooper. And no, I'm not advertising for them. I'm just telling you what my practices are and who my teachers are. I listen to them because the message is always positive. No matter what's going on in the world, the message is always positive. I feel like the platform they're speaking from is the platform I'd like to be on, where I know I'm moving forward in this ascension process. And whilst there's lots of dark confusion and whatever going on in the world around me, that I need to stay true to what I'm doing, who I am, and what my journey is about. And my journey is about forward motion. So yeah, so I didn't really need to listen to anything else RJ Spina is talking about in terms of that because I'm already doing this thing of living from that platform. However, uh, when I say this, I'm not discounting the fact that people that I go through through trials and tribulations and traumas and emotional stuff like everyone else. But there are certain things that we are being told to be afraid of or to be concerned about that my teachers are not saying that to me, and I will go with that because I that's the platform I want to live from, right? I have had to learn in the last few months though how to call in protection, how to call in guidance. Like never forget to ask Archangel Michael to protect you with ease and comfort, to help you with ease and comfort. Never forget to ask Archangel Metatron to help you through the ascension process because Archangel Metatron is here or has come to the forefront a lot more due to the ascension process. I understand that was Archangel Metatron's purpose. Yeah, yeah, this time on the earth to really help us with our ascension process. Right. Coming back to RJ Spina and the meditation. The meditation was about it was about abundance. I'm going to share that meditation with all of you. I shared it with a few people this morning after I'd done it. And what is the message today? The meditation was about abundance and living your highest timeline. But why are we talking about it? Because I'm not here to take what he was doing away. I can't take it away from him, but I'm not here to steal what he's saying. I'm here to talk about my personal experience and what it showed me and what it reminded me of. Because that is it, right? We should start to imagine our lives, start to focus on our lives by living from, or focus on how, not how, but focus on bringing in that highest timeline, shifting into the highest timeline of our lives, of what is for us individually. And why am I speaking about it? Because more and more I am hearing that there are many other people out there like me who lost everything, lost the career and didn't realize that they were losing their third dimensional career, that they, for some reason, didn't realize they had been sent a memo that said, hey, this career is over. You didn't have to stop liking it, but it's over. And if you keep doing it, then you are going to stop liking it. You are going to find it tedious to do because this is no longer aligning with your energy. And then what happened? We listened, we came out of it. And even when we're trying to stay in it to earn a living, it was not enough. It was not sufficient to live like that. But we are all of us that are in that position, we are having to recreate our lives. And how do we recreate our lives from scratch? Probably not, because I don't think that was ever intended when the star seeds were taken out of third dimensional work and put it into the transition process to the fifth dimensional soul purpose, right? I feel what has actually happened is we are just having to align or realign to what it is we understand about abundance being a feeling, right? Or living life from the best platform that serves us, and at the same time, in serving us, we are able to serve others. We are able to support others through that best life. So it's been a real transformation process for us, and I know even for me. And there's stuff going on in my world right now that I'm thinking this is going on for too long. It's lasted for too long. So that is what I think the light language message is about today. I'm going to look at my notes because I wrote a few things down here. So talking about manifestations, this morning, before I did this meditation, as I saw that title come up, as it came up on my YouTube feed, and I saw the title come up, I thought, okay, I feel like I need to write down what is it that I would like to manifest for myself. So I encourage you to do this. What is it? In like point by point, what is it? It doesn't have to be only financial abundance, right? Because there's so much more. So for me, I want to manifest my healthy body. I've always had a healthy body. Even when I had a rheumatoid diagnosis, I was able to navigate that and go through that process very quickly and come through it quite fast to find out what worked for my body. It's just in the last 2 years that I have had issues with plantar fascia, and that seems to be taking over my life for some reason. It's depleting my energy, and like many of you watch the channel know this. Last year I was really unwell, and I was unwell to the point that I thought I was going to pass away. I thought maybe I'm leaving the planet. Maybe this is the deterioration of the body, but I'm here. So it was part of my dark night of the soul, and it's part of things happening, clearing my karma. And but it felt like some of me was dying. I'm also someone who was affected in a big way by the uh, Pluto staying in Capricorn for all that time, right? I said it last week. And last week we were talking about celebration of the things that actually happened that was really good in that time, in that 16 years. And as I was saying last week, I manifested the best contracts I've ever had, work contracts I've ever had, the best money I've ever had, right? In this year, I have had a few things happen, like where the universe has shown me another way that I can create for myself the best contracts again, and it's even better than it was in the time in between 2015 and 2020. Right. So these contracts are different. These contracts are fifth dimensional. These contracts are collaborative, you know. So we're learning, right? The learning is coming slowly sometimes, and then sometimes it happens really fast and the penny drops. And there we go, we've got it, right? So coming back to my list, I said healthy body. I said soulful relationships, like, my soulful relationships, my soul family relationships, authentic relationships. Very important to have authentic relationships. If you're in a relationship where you have to kowtow to somebody else, to what their needs are, and you have to say things in a way to sugarcoat it so the person is receptive and all of that, check yourself. Is that okay? Is that an authentic relationship? Because maybe it's not, you know? One of my things is freedom from debt. The other thing is financial abundance. The other thing is covering all my everyday expenses right now in this time. The basics of life, the power bill, the water bill, the food bill, the rent, the mortgage, whatever it is that we pay to cover it, paying for gas, filling the car with gas and going from one place to another in a safe space. Safety will always be assured because of the guides, but sometimes we need to ask for it, because asking makes all the difference, right? Because it's given, and some things we take for granted, but some days we might need it more than other days, and that's the day you ask more for it. Okay. And then being safe, being protected, being happy, living my most beautiful life. Those were the things I put down. And one thing that I put down that really speaks to me, because this is the platform I want to live my life from, living life from the highest vibrational platform for the greatest good of myself and all mankind. That is what I wrote down. So, friends, I ask myself, why am I revisiting this? I'm revisiting this because lots of things are happening in my life, because I have to revisit it. We're in a Mercury retrograde. Usually, most of the time, I would like, oh my God, it's like Mercury retrograde again and all of that. But you know what? In recent times, I've come to just love it. I've just come to accept it, because like, this is it. Mercury retrograde is not all bad. I often say, okay, just make sure when you're signing contracts that you're very sure about what's in the terms of the contract. That's important. I also say, uh, you know, when you're doing upgrades on your technology, perhaps Mercury retrograde, the 3 weeks of Mercury retrograde is not the time to be doing it, because quite often, uh, you might have things going wrong with it, or you might have to go back and redo it, or whatever. Like, so those are the things to be cautious about, right? Your upgrades on your technology, or how you're using your technology. Very important. But what about those things that revisit us, that we missed the last time around, that it came around? What about maybe a contract that suddenly turns up, or a conversation in a relationship that should have happened then and didn't happen, and then it turns up, and you talk about it, and it actually, you resolve it. It comes back for resolution. It comes back for progression. Those are good things. Yeah. So one of the things that are coming back to me, and in this Mercury retrograde, and it's been happening now for maybe the last 2 weeks. And Mercury, normally the effects of the Mercury retrograde happens before it actually retrogrades, because Mercury is in shadow. And so as soon as it starts to go into shadow, which is 9 days before or thereabouts before it goes into retrograde, I start feeling the effects of it already before it goes into retrograde. And so that's why some of the things of the past are visiting. I had views of my past manifestations. I really, really had some beautiful things happen in my world. Really, really beautiful stuff. And so in the last 2 weeks, I've been having these memories return. And so I think, well, okay, thank you for reminding me what I've done, what was available to me, how I created that life, because we are the creators of our reality. We are the creators. We are the ones that manifest the reality, right? So I feel like the Mercury retrograde, this one is different. It's different for so many reasons. And if you listen to the astrologers, they're telling you about all the placements and the alignments and the trions and all of those things. I'm not the expert on it, so I won't go into it. And every time I've tried, I kind of fail a little by it because I feel that I cannot speak freely about something that I don't have that background knowledge of, right? I try sometimes, and it works, but other time, most of the times it doesn't because I'm not the expert on it. But listen to some of the astrology, and I'm not encouraging to all of us to be afraid by what the astrology is saying. Very important to apply intuition, to listen with intuition when people are saying things, right? But I'm speaking more of what the good is that's going to come out of Mercury retrograde. This one for me is bringing me recollections of how I manifested in my life in the past, how I created. The guides are actually bringing situations to me, reminding me of words I used, reminding me of things I did. The thing is that we have to consciously create. We have to consciously co-create, whatever that is. And the creation part comes from doing a meditation, sitting down and imagining your life the way you'd like it to be. Now, it's a huge jump to go from, okay, everything is falling apart. I get it, I understand it, and that is why we say do something every day, right? It's a huge jump to go from blah to wow. It's working in a short space of time. The thing that will shift us is the meditation and the mindfulness practice and being grateful, being in the appreciating mode, right? All of that, Abraham Hicks talks about it. However, this morning, the meditation that I did with RJ Spina did it for me. It took me from a space that I was in to a place where I suddenly saw all of the blocks, and I mean literal blocks, firstly, disappear in the distance. And then the second time around, they just fizzled out and sank below the sea. And I didn't see them anymore. And that is the thing. That is me. That is me creating my life. That is you creating your life. So I will be sharing that link today. But one of the things I had to talk about was that manifestation. Abundance is a feeling. What will you do? What will you do with your abundance? And this is very, very relative to us star seeds, light workers. It's time. I've met probably 25 people in the last 3 months that have been asked to leave their jobs by their guides, that have been guided completely away from their regular life to other places, to places. I spoke to somebody yesterday who left where he lived. He was told earlier this year or sometime in the middle of the year to leave where he was and to move and to go to another place. He's gone there. He doesn't know anybody there. He doesn't know anybody there, but he's gone there because the guides have asked him to. He's gone in faith. He's left his mainstream job because he's feeling called to now fulfill his soul's purpose. So I believe because we have done the work, because we are star seeds, light workers, light beings, light children of light, brothers and sisters of light, because we are all of that and we've done so much of this already, we can short circuit ourselves. I don't even know if short circuit is the right word, but we can transport ourselves by just remembering to be in that appreciating mode, by remembering to say thank you for the things that are appearing, being consciously aware of things that are appearing. And I'll say this because this happened to me. An interesting thing happened. I was about to do that meditation. And then I thought, oh, maybe I'm not going to do it because the initial conversation that started off, I thought, does what's going to happen in this video not match the title? Because sometimes it can happen, right, with creators. And I thought, oh no, maybe it's not. And maybe I'm just going down a rabbit hole I don't want to be giving time and energy to. But then just as I was about to move out of it, a word came up And the word had the light codes in it that caused me to stay in it. And I did. And I was so glad that I did because I felt so shifted and moved by it. So I believe starseeds, light workers, light beings, star beings, we can shift ourselves into living our lives from the highest timeline that is ours. That is what we can create from. So today I am going to bring in some light codes for us to do that. I'm looking at my notes because I wrote some notes down to make sure that I cover everything. So what are we doing? Living life from our highest timeline? This message, light language message, is going to bring in light codes for us to shift into the highest timeline for living life. Ours, and in doing so, that we serve not just ourselves in it, but we serve others too. It is time, don't you think, friends? It is time. It is time for us to do it. It is time for us to live our lives, our best lives, from the highest timeline, from the highest timeline, from the highest perspective, and for the greatest good of all. Right. Let's do a bit of a clearing. O tigala mahatona karana tafai tafanai tafanai to mahativala sto tamaite karanato. Wa nea nea mona lila maya nea ateana oleo. Just going to use a sound bowl to take us in. Interesting. Yeah, the sound bowl has got a very high note for the solar plexus chakra. Everybody, let's plant our feet firmly on the ground. Take a deep breath. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Kioro na makia tu farana khaletia kaletia olatia la 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 ela wo kiara maku tiela mawo kan tu korna khamea kiara mahuangia Kurnatia makuatia Kurnatia makofrena Ora era Elemetikera mahuana tia furuna khayina And as you absorb that, take a moment to breathe again. Let's breathe in through the nose, a big sharp breath into the nose. And then hold the breath at the bottom of the belly. And when you can hold it no longer, release it through the mouth. So let's do that breath like that. We'll do 3 times. Make sure to get everything of the breath out of the body. One last one. Okay, let's receive one more time, more light codes. Kilamaton salamachai nachikulogor nachila natitugor la khatamatur natsimakamato kilatito forana khalatututututu rochai o natilera tenamatuam ya sila khafana tiaro nachaya matsufara nachaya tumaranai Well, friends, thank you. Thank you for your time. I feel like we go away and absorb that message. And sorry, I don't mean to look away. I'm being asked to actually bring a message through from the unicorns, and I'm trying to find where the unicorns are. Just going to pause for a moment. Wow, there you go. Had to suddenly stop and do that. I did think about that earlier, and then I wasn't sure. And then as I was sitting and doing this, as we're coming out of it, I got that we need to do the unicorns. We need to bring in a unicorn card. The unicorns are very present at the moment, is what I feel. They just seem to be coming into my space a lot. I don't know about any of you, if you're feeling like that right now. And the unicorns are here to help us. They, as we know, seventh dimensional. And we had to be seventh dimensional, I understand, before coming to Earth. Anybody who comes to Earth has to be seventh dimensional to come into Earth and have this earthly experience that we're having right now. So Very interesting. So I'm just going to look for a card I'm just going to cleanse the card a little bit with my crystal, my selenite, good crystal. Cleanse me. And all of you again. Yeah. And let's do it. Just looking at the time. I have a very important meeting to attend in half an hour. Something I'm not looking forward to. But I believe that today we have a lot of energy that I have been doing a lot of the energy experience for me to love this experience I'm about to have. And I can always, I'll tell you guys all about it. And yeah, I'll tell you all about it. Okay. And it's really, oh, this card has turned up again. I'm just going to take it. So there are two unicorn cards, by the way, unicorn cards. This card is called Open Your Heart, the first one. And why it's going first is because it appeared more than once. Open your heart. Open your heart card. Yeah. It's a number 9 card. So the numerology is symbolic of an ending to something. 9 is a good number for me anyway. I love it. Open your heart, love yourself, and dare to be vulnerable. Very important message at the moment is to love yourself. For me, I've been in a very reflective time, and as I've been saying in the other videos, and loving myself is one of them. One of the messages I've been working on. Okay. Open your heart, love yourself. Dare to be vulnerable. The other card is interesting. It's a number 13 card, which in numerology becomes a 4. And it is also 4 is a number of, I suppose, relationships, right? Creative solutions is this card. There's the unicorn, there's a squirrel, and inside this, what looks like a cylinder type of thing, is a cosmic heart, a diamond heart. I think it's a diamond heart. There's a butterfly in there. And it looks like this is a mushroom. It looks like a petal or a mushroom of some kind. I'm not sure, but we can read the card very shortly. But look at that unicorn. It's got a golden horn. It's got a golden horn with a bright light at them, with like a pink light at the end, right? And this one has got a diamond horn with a white diamond light. Very interesting. Yeah. So that's our cards for today. I'm going to look at the number 9 card and see what the message is. And then we will conclude. There are 33 chambers in your heart chakra, this card, all containing lessons of love. Your heart is open to the extent that you have mastered these. A warm and loving heart unfolds other people. I beg your pardon. A warm and loving heart enfolds other people so that they feel safe and loved. And in return, they love you. As your heart opens and you feel free to share your feelings, you also allow yourself to be vulnerable. So people immediately trust you and feel close to you. This card reminds you to be generous and giving of yourself. Your guidance is to breathe into your heart and ask your unicorn to illuminate the center with its horn of diamond light. When it pours pure love into all the chambers of this chakra and lights them up, this dissolves any old hurts or blocks you may still have. Right. It's going to help us with those light codes we've got. The message is those light codes are going to help you, right? But the unicorns are going to help us too to do that. Okay. I'm most important of all, appreciate yourself. Be kind to yourself. Feel your heart becoming warm and expansive. Your unicorn is reminding you that when you love and value yourself, any lower emotions dissolve in the glow of your inner worth. Ah, right. The number 13 card, this one here. I don't recall receiving this card before, so I can't quite tell you what the message of it all is. But let's read it. Creative solutions. Think outside the box. View things from a higher perspective. Your life lessons are presented to you as a series of challenges. It is how you deal with your circumstances that allows you to progress along your path and pass the tests. Even when a difficulty seems unsurmountable, your unicorn will remind you that there is a solution to every problem. So look at every aspect of the situation from a higher perspective. See the spiritual eyes. I'll say it again. See with spiritual eyes. Listen with compassionate ears and send love to every person involved, however troublesome they appear to be. Whatever the trial or setback, love is the universal solvent that transmutes everything. It allows magical solutions to emerge that your conscious mind could not imagine. So, receiving this card also suggests that you might be going through a test at this time. Friends, I'm going to leave the card messages there. And I am encouraging you to be kind to yourself. I'm encouraging you to dream again. Dream the life you have always wanted. Dream that life that's going to help you live from the best and the highest timeline. Remember when we dreamt before? I said something like this last week. When we dreamt before and we created before, we weren't as awakened as we are right now. We weren't as conscious of our surroundings, of things that are happening in the wider world as we are now. We have gone through some amazing awakening processes, right, so far. And it's accelerated. It accelerated in the last few years. Doesn't matter what the catalyst was for that, but it happened. So I will have to say this much. It is time for us to start dreaming and creating again. And this time we get to say, I am dreaming my life. I am creating my life from the highest timeline for myself. And we have confidence. We know we are protected. Yes, we've come through on the other side. We are going to live the bestest life that we've ever lived before. And it's bestest, the most amazing lives that we've ever lived before. Because this time it is source driven. This time it is from the higher perspective. It is from the highest perspective. It is living consciously in abundance. And consciously in the sense of from the highest perspective for the greatest good of all. And most importantly, for self. Yeah. Thank you so much, friends. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you next time. Namaste.